Recently, a couple of people have commented on a YouTube video that they'd like to see how I reduce fan noise from my videos. So, well, firstly, I click my fingers, but actually there's a little bit more to it than that. I'm going to transfer this from the iPad down here to the computer upstairs and run Audacity past it and the noise reduction plugin and see if we can't get rid of that annoying fan noise.
So here's the video file imported into Audacity, and you can see there's a nice long delay there at the start. So let's just hear what that sounds like. You can hear the fan sound and then my voice.
Recently, a couple of people have commented on a YouTube.
And then later on we've got the click.
Firstly, I click my fingers.
And we've still got the fan noise
actually,
afterwards. So what we need to do is to highlight that long area at the start, which I'll edit out in the editing software later on. And I just need to go down to noise reduction. And you can see, you can play around with these here. I tend to do a fairly low noise reduction and repeat it if necessary rather than a high one, and because that can result in a bit of distortion. So I just get the noise profile from that first section, go to where the fingers are clicking, highlight the rest of the sound, and then go straight back to repeat noise reduction. Let's see what that sounds like.
My fingers. But actually there's a little bit more.
Actually, that's pretty good. I probably wouldn't do much more than that. The only other thing that I would do, I'm just going to zoom to the entire lot, is I would probably overall increase the volume. And yeah, you can see at the start here how noisy that's going to be. Let's just try that again.
Recently, a couple of people have commented on a YouTube video that they'd like to see how I reduce fan noise from my videos. So, well, firstly, I click my fingers, but actually there's a little bit more to it than that.
There's still a little bit of residual noise at that higher amplification. Now the noise profile should still be in there, so I'm just going to run it through again, and then let's just have a look at that.
So I click my fingers, but actually there's a little bit more to it.
Yeah, and that's much nicer and cleaner. And then all I need to do is to export that as MP3, and then what we'll do is we'll put it into OpenShot and turn off the video sound and turn on the MP3 sound. Let's have a look at that. So here we are with OpenShot, and yes, I know it's an older version, but I actually prefer this version. I'm just going to drag in my original video and set the volume to 0, and then drag in my sound file, and then I can just play one over the top of the other.
Recently, a couple of...
So you can see that it's got that long delay at the front, so I can just go and get rid of that. So the sound cuts in, I think around about here. Let's just try that again.
Recently, a couple...
Around 7 seconds, so give a little bit to the start. So let's just cut that. And also on the video. And then I can just get rid of the front section. And move these up. And probably just do a fade in and out on the entire clip. And I can monitor it up here, so let's have a look.
Recently, a couple of people have commented on a YouTube video that they'd like to see how I reduce fan noise from my videos. So, well, firstly, I click my fingers, but actually there's a little bit more to it than that.
And that's how this video will be made. As well as the Audacity magic today, the other thing I wanted to do was to take a quick look at the Raspberry Pi Puppy Cam.
This is a Pi 3, and inside I've got a camera hooked up, and I've butchered a 5-volt fan over the top. And the idea behind that is that it keeps us cool. So there's a heatsink here on the microprocessor, and also the fan will draw up air and it'll cool the other components on there that get warm. And the reason they do get warm is because this particular Pi setup is for my puppy cam, and so that's so I can keep an eye on my puppies that I've got at the moment whilst I'm at work. And so this fan goes pretty much full throttle, and what I want to do is I want to put a little potentiometer next to it. This is a 1K pot, and I'm just going to break into these wires and put this on so there's some sort of, I said rudimentary. Hey, I invented a new word. Some sort of rudimentary control over the fan speed. As well, I've got a camera here which has been working fine, but it's actually quite a narrow field of view. This is a wide camera, but it doesn't fit into the Raspberry Pi 3. So this package here, theoretically, is an adapter for that. So I can use the wider angle camera with the Raspberry Pi 0, and I think this is a 0W, yeah, version 1.1, so an older 0. And so I can use it with that, and that's fine, but I specifically want to use the Raspberry Pi 3, so I need the adapter for that. So that's what's in this package, so let's open up and see what's there. I'll cut into it first. This has actually come from a local Australian supplier, but it did take a long time. I ordered this quite some time ago. And, oh, yeah, opening packages is not my forte. All right, and here is one adapter. So I'm hoping that this will allow me to use, yeah, look at that. So that goes into here, and then that should go into my Raspberry Pi 3 adapter. Of course, I think I'm going to lose some length along the way. Not that that's a huge issue, but yeah, that's a little unexpected. But anyway, we'll give that a try and see if we can actually get some pictures out of it. So a little bit of soldering later, and the 1K pot's in there. Let's. It's on 0 at the moment, so wound right down. So the fan should start. Yep, that's no problem. And then as we wind that, it should slow down. Oh, we can see it a little bit better. Maybe from underneath. You know, it's quite impenetrable in there, really, isn't it? Well, let's see what we can do. I'll just hold it up a little bit. And you can certainly hear it. And there you go, you can see it also. So it's not that too many turns, really. In fact, it's probably only about 30 degrees before it stops. So this 1K pot is too big. Probably need 500 ohms would be better, or maybe even less, 200. I'm going to go looking for a more appropriate one. The adapter did work here, so the other thing I need to do is to, I've taken the SD card out so it doesn't affect all this turning on and off, doesn't affect it at all. But I'm going to see if that wide angle, fisheye style lens is better for the Puppy Cam project. But the first thing to do is to change this out. Well, I seem to have a dearth of large potentiometers that have low resistance. This is a 200 ohm little pot. It's a pretty unsatisfactory one, really, but it does work. Slows the fan right down, and then maybe after half a turn or so, there it goes, it's stopped. So yeah, as long as I don't need to adjust it finally or too often, should be okay, but it has prompted me to maybe order a better solution. So yeah, I might just leave that dangling until that arrives, and I'll have a look around and see what else I can do. But for the moment, I can control that fan after a fashion, so that's a good thing. Let's get this up on the wall and have a look, see what the puppies look like.
So this is the device very hastily stuck on the window, and you can still see the little pot hanging from the bottom there, and there's lots of, like, there's a piece of paper stuck near the camera there to prevent reflection off the glass of the little red LED. But just wanted to see what the result would be before I make a permanent housing. And here it is. You can see quite a nice wide view now from that new camera, and yeah, that's a pretty good result. Just as a comparison, this is the old picture, so you can see quite a narrow view, and now we have a much wider picture, so that's a good result. So that's the Puppy Cam video, and or Puppy Cam project, and that is the circuit for the week. We'll catch you next time.